In my opinion, the difference between spirituality and religion, or religion and spirituality, is, but before I tell you that, I am a disciple of the Church of Tomorrow Morning. And what that means is it's the truth. We don't need your money. We don't even need you to come back. What we do is we listen to the Spirit that speaks within all of us. This is not a man-made construct. And we'll get to the definition of that so we can be clear. We do a self-history, a self-analysis. And if you need to read books on spirituality or religion, then you do so on your own. But you already have a piece of God in you, and you don't need a mediator for you to tell you what's right and wrong. Religion, in my opinion, you have to have a collection. You have to have a mediator between you and God. You have to be under somebody's tutelage in order for you to gain some kind of acceptance or perceived acceptance. And all people are not initiated into the group. So therefore, what we have is secret societies in the church. But don't think that I'm speaking ill of it, because I was 30 years in that myself. You understand? And sometimes I'm thinking I'm reading the Bible every year and talking to people who were supposed to be teaching me about something I knew better than them. But I don't want to go off on a tangent. Freedom of speech, expression, and I get to control my own mind. So we started with this morning being cockholed, trumped, and hoodwinked. What's the difference between religion and spirituality? Well, I can tell you, man-made religion. Spirituality is the spirit that lives within you. But I'm going to tell you the reason why we're talking about any of this anyway. You see this book, How to Make a Negro Christian? There was a purpose to that, okay? The purpose was not for you to become closer to God, because you already knew God and you know him now, but you reject him over a white construct, a European construct. You don't think with your own mind. You don't think with your own spirit. You don't think with your own heart. You turn that over to somebody else. And that right there is why we know it's man-made. Now, today we're going to get down to some brass tactics. The 10 Commandments are a set of rules that from God, they say, that appear in the Old Testament of the Bible in Exodus 22-17 and Deuteronomy 5:6-21. Now, I want you to understand something. Nobody was around when the Bible was written that's living today. So you can't tell what is God-inspired and what is not. Only thing you go on is belief and faith. But you would rather have faith in something you can't see than faith in something that you can see and that you are. Let's get down. First commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourselves an idol. You shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Honor your mother and father. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not give false testimony, and you shall not covet. Do you see a problem with any of this? Now, people get mad at me because I question the 10 Commandments. But let me tell you something. Yeah, I'm questioning it, and I'm going to tell you why. What people you know coveted black folks' wealth, their wives, their children, their DNA, their very being? Who do you know gives false testimony? Let's say, for example, what was that in Oklahoma that they burned down because they say a white young lady said a black man, a black young boy in the elevator did her something vile or wrong, and nobody didn't try to find out the evidence if it was true or not, and found out that it came to be false, but all they were looking for is an excuse to bring down Wall Street. You see, all of that on a false testimony, and it's happened numerous times in America. Thou shalt not steal. Well, who do you know? See, they'll take a black person who stole something, he'll steal a candy bar and they'll give him 10 years. But you could take Madoff, I believe his name was, that guy on Wall Street. He can take $250 million and go to a federal, a federal greenhouse. Because I call it a greenhouse because it take a lot of money to get there and to get treated so well. He didn't go to state prison or one of those prisons where they do you wrong, really. You should not commit adultery. Well, in slavery, they did all kind of things to our people especially, okay? And even today, people commit adultery and then go on Sunday and ask to be forgiven, or either go to the Catholic Church and they pay to be forgiven. You should not murder. Well, let's look at what happened over there in the Middle East with the Christians and the Muslims. The blood supposedly was so high it reached the bridle of a horse. And all they were talking about is they were murdering each other, and it was so vicious till they got tired. And who did they do that at the bequest of? See, we never look at the man behind the curtain. We don't look at the big people. They never fight. Honor your father and mother. Well, let me tell you something. This right here, we all need to improve in. But if that is true, honor your father and mother, and if it is true that human race originates in Africa, and you hate your mother and father who are black people, or they may have another concept of how humanity came into being. But guess what? Right now, today, on the bones that they found and the DNA that they found and everything else that they stole out of Egypt and all over the world, black folks are the root of civilization and humankind. So, this is how you treat your mother and father? Yeah. This is how ignorant black people was. We're going to be so ignorant that we're going to bring the truth out. Thou shalt not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Well, let me tell you, I believe in something, a creation. I believe in a creator. I believe in something, that's on a different level than human beings. I don't believe this earth came out of a Big Bang theory. Don't make an idol for yourself. You should have no other gods before me. Well, most people, gods is money. Now, I'm going to stop my TikTok because I only get 10 minutes, but we're going to roll live with this. So we left off with the 10 Commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. Okay? Now this, they don't give us an exact time or era that this was written in, because nobody's living that was living. They didn't leave behind anything too much but some scrolls and everything else so they can get a general idea. But let me tell you about something that they've known for all eternity, and these are the root of what the 10 Commandments were built on, and they are out of Egypt. And I want to give you the definition of a construct, because it says it's an idea or theory that brings together various concepts and elements, typically over a period of time. Okay? But I'll tell you what, you can have a physical mental construct. You know why? Because the way that this religion is constructed in this society, and the way it's built up with the churches and the Pope and all of these things are real. You can touch them. That's physical. They might have messed with your mind. They might have hoodwinked you. They gave you the blueprint. They made you a Christian. But let's look at something, the difference between religion and spirituality. Because, see, before the Bible, they had 42 laws of Ma'at, moral principles of the ancient Egyptians. Okay? They had a cultural ethos that was deeply rooted in the concept of Ma'at. Ma'at was not just a goddess in the Egyptian pantheon, but represented a complex framework of order, truth, and justice. Central to these principles were 42 laws of Ma'at, which provided a moral and spiritual code that guided Egyptians in their daily lives and understanding of the cosmic harmony, something the Bible doesn't do. Now, in this post, we'll delve into these ancient principles of Ma'at and see how they reflect the ancient Egyptians for balance and righteousness. Now, I will tell you that there's nothing new under the sun. So therefore, I did my research on some things, and I've come to this conclusion. And I want to give the people who are responsible, which are my forefathers, my brothers and sisters, Egyptologists, which is nothing more than a glorified historian, and Europeans stealing from Africa. So, the basis and foundation of Ma'at. To fully grasp the profound impact of the 42 laws of Ma'at, we must first delve into the essence of Ma'at herself. She was the embodiment of all-encompassing truth that governed both the cosmos and social order of the Nile Valley inhabitants. Isn't that where they say the first humans came out of? Ma'at represented the intrinsic force that maintained the universe's balance. She was integral to the very fabric of existence, from the predictable flooding of the Nile, which ensured fertile soil, to the overarching moral codes that dictated human conduct. In essence, Ma'at was the harmonizing effect, an element between the physical and the metaphysical, between earthly living and divine. Let's get down. Ma'at, wearing a feather of truth. Her iconographic is rich with symbolism. Ma'at most commonly depicted a woman with wings, or most famously with an ostrich feather adorning her head. This is the feather of truth that served as a potent emblem of her authority and the ideal of balance. It was against this feather that the hearts of the deceased were weighed in the afterlife, according to the Book of the Dead, a fundamental mortuary text of ancient Egypt. Now, I'm not going to go into that no more, because first of all, it's too deep. Some of people don't even want to hear it. Your attention span is too short. But you are very intelligent beings, especially my people. They just have to stick long enough and want to do it. And they can do anything they put their mind up. But here is a list of the 42 declarations. We use personal data for interest-based advertising, as they say, outlined in my privacy notice for the people who publish this. But something that was published long ago, a story was told. And the story started by, I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men and women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God or goddess. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. These are the first 10 commandments of the Ma'at. Okay? 11, I have not closed my ears to the truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I have not felt sorrow without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. 21, I have not seduced anyone's wife. I have not polluted myself. I have not terrorized anyone. I have not disobeyed the law. I have not been exclusionary angry. I have not cursed gods and goddesses. I have not behaved with violence. I have not caused disruption of peace. I have not acted hastily or without thought. I have not overstepped my boundaries of concern. 31, I have not exaggerated my words when speaking. I have not worked evil. I have not used evil thoughts, words, and deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought, words, or deeds. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. I have not stolen what belongs to God and goddesses. I have not stolen from or disrespected the deceased. 40, I have not taken food from a child. I have not acted with insolence. I have not destroyed property belonging to God and goddesses. These declarations covered a wide array of transgressions, addressing not only physical acts, but also moral and spiritual ones. They were designed not just as a legalistic framework, but as a holistic approach to living a life that was in alignment with the order of the universe. So, where do you think the 10 Commandments came from? So, what is the difference between religion and spirituality? I just told you. Now, today, with the church of tomorrow morning, I have given you a truth. I have given you some facts. I have given you ancient African spirituality, laws, concepts, commandments. Who do you think stole from Egypt, from Africa, from us? Who do you think you look at as a God telling you about a book that came from another book, but that book was African? The whole framework of this world is probably framed in African ideology, genuineness, spirituality, and geniusness.